So I did want to say that in not giving up, in not allowing society, not allowing other people to get us down. Don't allow other people, don't allow society, don't allow fears, don't allow doubts, because I'll tell you something, doubts is a real thing. We can stay in that doubting stage. We can doubt ourselves. We can be our own worst critic. We can be our own worst enemy. And I wanted to say to everybody, be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Good morning, Shay. How are you? Welcome in. Happy Saturday. We can be our own worst critic. We can be our own worst enemy when it comes to our lives. We'll be so nice and patient and calm and loving to other people, but we won't apply that same love to ourselves. And I wanted to say that to everybody. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Apply some self compassion. When we think about compassion, we usually only think about applying compassion to others, but we also are deserving of compassion. We also are deserving of love. We also are deserving of breaks. And on this Saturday, this self care Saturday, part of our self care is learning to be compassionate. Be compassionate with yourself. Oh, I'm doing great, Shay. Thank you so much for asking. I'm glad you are well. I hope all my motivators family is well too. I wanted to say to everybody, make sure you're taking time out of your busy schedule for you. Most of us do not think about filling up our own cup. Yes, Garden of Inspiration. I don't know what happened, but my phone just went offline. Thank you so much for coming back, Gio. I appreciate you guys. We usually don't think about ourselves. And that's something that we have to learn. Like I was saying on the previous live, we have to begin our day, okay, and end our day with ourselves. You remember, you have to be your best self, and we cannot be our best self if we are not taking care of ourselves in every single way. You have to take care of your mental health. You have to take care of your spiritual health. You have to take care of your financial health. You have to take care of your physical health. And when all of those things are going well, you will be well. You're going to think well. You're going to feel good and positive. Your spirits will be high vibes, but it takes work. It's something that many of us have to learn. We have to learn how to treat ourselves. We have to learn to respect ourselves. We have to learn how to set those boundaries. And I don't know about all of you, but I had to learn to set the boundary. I had to learn to say no and to mean that. And when people ask why, I'm not going to explain it. You don't have to explain why you are doing the things that you do, why you are putting yourself first, why you are no longer involved in toxic behavior. How many of my motivators family is guilty of that? You were the one enabling the toxic behavior, you know and it's not a very comfortable thing. It's not a very comfortable thing to say, but it's the truth. It's the reality that we sometimes are the ones that are making ourselves unhappy. And if you really think about it, if you're really honest with yourself, we are not doing the right things. When somebody asks us for something, you jump and you are helping and assisting, but when you need help, you're not asking for the help, or you're not getting back what you put out. And it doesn't have to be in big matters, but just as something as simple as someone saying, "How are you doing? I was thinking about you." You have to have those sort of relationships to fill up your cup to make you feel good about yourself. And if you don't, you You definitely are going to get discouraged. And I don't want that for you all, but it's some of these things that I had to learn. I had to learn that I deserve to have my own me time. I deserve to have my solo days where I'm not picking up the phone. I don't care who needs me. I have to need myself. I have to be okay. And if you're not okay, nobody else in your life will be, because that energy transfers. If you're miserable, if you're angry, everybody around you will be miserable and angry. So we have to take the time out to check in on our mental health. And if there's some issues, so there's something going on, there's some unresolved things, if maybe it's some forgiveness that we need to take place in our life with ourselves or with others, we get to the bottom of it and we pour into ourselves and we forgive ourselves and we take our time, but eventually we let it go, because nothing is going to discourage you like harboring resentment and keeping that anger and feeling that we were, somebody did something to us and they weren't justified and we're seeking revenge. We can't fix what other people do. We can't fix how other people choose to treat us, but we can choose how we react to it. Did you all get the message? We cannot make a choice on how people act, but we can make a choice how we react. And we know those individuals that they don't care about. They're only there to use you, or they only make that phone call when they want something. They always have their hand out. We know those individuals. And yes, we care for them and we want the best for everyone, but we have to want the best for ourselves too. And we can't have those toxic, controlling, manipulative people in our life, because it will bring you down. It will break you down. You will work so hard and do all of this work to just, you could find yourself in a financial lurch. You can find yourself empty and hollow. And when you get to the point where you start having the breakdowns mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and eventually it's going to trickle down to your health. And that's why I wanted to do this topic. We really don't think about our physical health being linked to the mental. When we're having disruptions, when someone has not treated us right, or when we're holding on to something, harboring resentment, we're angry about something, or we feel like, why isn't X, Y, and Z happening for me? Trying to compare yourself to other individuals. We are our own person. You're your own person. You have your own personality. You have your own situations and traumas and things that happen in our life. Every single person is different. And we have to be compassionate with ourselves. Be patient with you. I have to remind myself sometimes, Marlene, you need to slow down. It's time to chill. It's time for a vacation, or you're doing too much. You need to turn off that phone. You have to make yourself unreachable to some individuals. We have to stop making it where everybody can reach us all times of the day. Sometimes you have to be unreachable so that you can be in a good space, so that you can be in good spirits, so that your vibes can be high. Okay. And that's a life lesson. And on this self care Saturday, I wanted to say this message to everybody. Take even 15 minutes of the day. Like I've said, I take 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes before I go to bed, and I reaffirm that I love myself. I reaffirm that everything is going to be okay. And I speak over my life. Words have power, words have value, and especially I say to anybody who is going through something, you have to encourage yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader and your own best friend. Do not wait for other people to validate you, to support you. And while we all want these things, we have to support ourselves. We have to speak over our own life, okay? Love on yourself. Take care of you. Understand how important you are, And say that to yourself. I'm important, I'm special. I validate me. I pour into me and I love myself. I'm my own best friend. I encourage myself. I can restart and reset today. What was yesterday, and what today is today. I am a better form of me. I am empowered and I love myself. That's a part that is so important for us to speak to ourselves that way. You know, I always talk about over here the positive self talk. Talk to yourself in a positive way, and you will be positive, okay? Don't ever forget that, everybody. Talk to yourself positively, and you will be positive. Don't wait for other people to pour that positive into you. You have to make the choice to be positive. You have to make a choice to take care of yourself. You have to make those choices. So, I did want to say this on this self care Saturday to don't give up. Don't give up when the odds seem to be stacked against you, when people are acting weird or strange or sometime-ish is a Caribbean term. Usually Jamaicans say that, but sometime-ish is like sometimes they're here and sometimes they're not. So, you really, they're not a person that you can depend on. You never know their attitude, that you never know their energy. You never know, will they be kind? Today they are, and tomorrow they're not. They're not a very reliable resource as a friend or a loved one. So be careful about having individuals like that in your life and thinking that you can change people. When people show you who they are, you got to believe them and believe them the first time, like Maya Angelou says. Believe people with the energy that they show up, with the attitude that they show up, with the way they treat you, no matter what people are going through. If somebody wants to do something nice, if somebody loves you, if somebody cares for you, if somebody values you, they will treat you in the right manner. It does not matter what a person is going through. If somebody wants to do something, they will. If somebody doesn't, they won't. And that's it. And that's it. Okay. If somebody wants to be there for you, if somebody wants to love you, if somebody wants to show up for you, they will. Okay. And don't make excuses for people. Oh, they're going through something. Or I'll hear people say, that's the way they are. Hmm. But it doesn't make it right. Okay. Hey, Robert. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Just because a person may be going through something, it doesn't make it right. Okay. We're not going to make excuses for people's bad attitude. We're not going to make excuses for what somebody has done. We're not. We're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is we're going to be responsible. We're going to be accountable, and we're going to set rules for our life. Every single one of us has values, core values, the things that are important to them. Don't let people run over you or make you feel guilty for having values, especially, I say to all of my motivators family that are people of faith. Don't let people make you feel bad because you have faith. Okay? It's something that you have to be okay with it first. Don't let others make you feel less than because of what you believe, okay? You have to believe in yourself. It's a confidence thing. It's a love thing. Pour into yourself so that you can be okay. And that's a lesson, a life lesson that it changes all the time as we get older, as we age. We have to learn that I can't do what I used to do. And with knowledge, with power, with maturity, with wisdom, we shift into being different individuals, right? So when we learn better, we should do better. When we learn that people are using us, do we keep letting them use us because of a certain title? Oh, that's my sibling, that's my parent, that's my friend, that's my significant other, that's my spouse, that's this person. No, when something is wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter, and we can't let those emotional ties, we can't let emotions control us. Okay, because that could be the thing making us so sad. We're allowing people and saying that's this person, insert their title, because of their this, that it's okay. And being a person being rude, disrespectful, ghosting you, no, it's never okay. If somebody cares for you and loves you, they're going to show up and they're going to communicate. I'm a very big person on communication, and the older that I get, the more important communication is. If somebody is going through something, and they need a break or something, hey, I'm going through something right now. It has nothing to do with you. I want you to know I love you, but I just need a few days, a few weeks to wrap my mind around it. I'll check back in next week, in a week or 2 weeks. See, that's communication. And then But what I'm never going to put up with is ever going to get the things that you deserve. Okay. And I want you all to know that you deserve respect, you deserve kindness, you deserve consideration, and you deserve to be treated well. And if people cannot treat you well, it's time for you to go. Don't stay spaces where you're not validated, where you're not encouraged, where you're not poured into. If you cannot be poured into, if you cannot be loved on, if you are not celebrated, then it's time for you to leave those spaces. Don't stay in spaces where you are not growing, where you're not elevating spiritually, emotionally, mentally, if you don't feel peace in your spirit, because there's nothing worse than having relationships, but you're the only person in the relationship. That gets old really fast. Okay. I wish you all peace, joy, and love. I hope you have satisfying relationships, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Making sure you're making a commitment to love yourself, to pour into yourself, and don't let others take advantage of you. Nobody deserves to be taken advantage of and treated in an inferior way. Okay? Don't let people treat you inferior because you're not inferior. Okay? You're a human being, and you do have feelings, male and female. And a shout out to all of my motivators family. I want you all to know, and I want you to confirm and to say to yourself, I am valid, I am important, I have worth, I deserve breaks, and I will enforce boundaries. Let people respect you, but first you must respect yourself. Respect goes both ways, okay? If they don't give you respect, it's time for you to cut off those individuals. And you don't have to do anything in a disrespectful manner. You don't have to come out of a bag. You don't have to cuss people out. You don't have to scream and yell and argue. All you have to do sometimes is simply block, simply walk away. Don't give don't give other people power over you. And that's something that I had to learn in maturity. You don't have to argue and scream with people. If somebody cannot respect you, if somebody is prone to use you and take advantage of you, it's time for you to go. Never stay spaces where love is not being served, where respect is not being served, where somebody does not know how to be kind to you and genuine. Okay? You can't do that. See, that's a part of your self love, your self respect. You have to respect yourself first before others will respect you. Okay? Yes, it's facts, Jackie. First, you have to respect yourself before other people will respect you. You know, love is a two-way street. The Garden of Inspiration says exactly that's the way they are. Doesn't make it right. Yes. Everybody it's so strange how the individuals that are very toxic, they always have an excuse to why they do what they do. But if you give them the same treatment, as they call match their energy, then they're upset. Miss Jackie says, when we make excuses, we're basically giving them the permission to do what they choose. Yes. Don't justify poor behavior. Nobody has the right to treat you poorly. And if somebody is not respectful of you, if someone does not know how to be kind to you, it's time for you to go. Thank you, Boss Life Online. I appreciate you. If somebody does not know how to respect you, then sometimes you have to give people a literal timeout. Give them time to grow up. Some people need time, and there's nothing like not being around to let people miss you, to find out what sort of how much you poured into them, how important you really are to them. And there's nothing like absence. Absence can either make the heart grow fonder, or absence can you can find out like, okay, no, that person really didn't really mean that much to me like I thought they did. So you have to show people, take a break from people for your mental health, for your personal growth. And there's nothing like giving yourself the time and the space and the freedom to say, it's okay for me to take a break so that I can work on me. I don't know how many of my motivators family does this, but I had to do that for me because I had to rescue myself. I was drowning. I was drowning in anger, in feeling taken advantage of and used and controlled, manipulated. So I had to take a break because I didn't want to be the person, the former person that I used to be, that would snap off and be immature and want to argue. I don't do those things anymore. If it can't be mature communication, if it can't be honesty and love, then I don't want any parts of it. You don't deserve any parts of it either. But that's something that I had to learn. I don't mean just other people, myself too. I had to learn that I need to be honest in everything. I had to learn to be kind, but with limits. I had to learn to validate myself. I had to learn to be my own friend. I had to learn that I deserve to take breaks. I deserve to be loved on, and I deserve to be communicated with. So I say that to all of you. It's not that I come on here and I say, I talk about these topics, podcasts, live streams, or videos from a book that I'm reading. I'm talking about real life experiences where either I or other people have been immature or taken advantage of me and made me feel less than. So from time to time, we have to check in on ourselves. Like, how am I doing? Am I happy right now? Am I at peace? And if the question is no, you have to get to the bottom of it and peel it back like an onion. Why am I not happy? Why am I not at peace? Why am I sad? And be honest with yourself and take the steps to feel better, to be better. So take those breaks. Take that time for your self-care, for your self-development, for your peace of mind, and validate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. I want to say that to everybody. Give yourself a pat on the back for your courage, for your strength, for your honesty, okay? Because there's nobody that can love you like you love yourself. There's nobody, you know? And I feel so good that I can be able to say that today. Today, I don't have to wait on a relationship, a friend, uh, a relative, money. Those things don't validate me. I validate myself. God validates me. And then if other people do, that's cool. But I don't need that. I don't need that because now I have self-esteem. Now I have been introduced to confidence. Now I know God's love for me. And I'm not ashamed of it. I will never be ashamed to say that. I'm not ashamed to say that God loves me. I'm not afraid to say when I don't know the step, when I'm in the gap, or if I don't know what's going to happen from this step to the next step. I know that God is there to hold my hand, to hold me up, to feed me his Holy Spirit, and to keep people in my life that is positive and encouraging and giving me the things that I need. And we forget that sometimes when we're going through situations, that sometimes the answer is not inside of us. The answer is inside of God and what He's working on for you and through you. He's trying to either teach you something, teach you courage, teach you patience, teach you resiliency, teach you that this is not good for you and it's time for you to move on. Move on. It doesn't mean that that person was a bad person. Just some relationships that we have in our life is not good for us, and we have to let them go so that we can get better, so that we can do better. Because holding on to toxicity makes us toxic, makes us sad, makes us discouraged, and makes us not be at a place that we deserve to be. Okay. Every single one of us deserves to be at a space of peace, happiness, and prosperity. And there's nothing like having very dark, evil, toxic, manipulative people in our life because they will really bring you down. It's the honest truth. People will bring you down, or people will use you like a leech until they get everything from you. And then when they have nothing else to get from you, then they'll drop you. And that hurts a lot because you can do so much for people. And at a certain point, you're like, now you're the person who's in need, and you look around and there's nobody around, and you can't believe it. Like, I poured all of this into you. I gave you all this support, all this time. I was patient with you. And now that I need support and patience and love and kindness, you look around and there's nobody. And I'm telling you that it hurts like a pain like no other. It's nothing like the blaring silence when you're expecting that support. You're like, you don't even think about it. You're like, I know when I go through something, they're going to be there for me. And then when it's not that, it's like, wow. It's a revelation. It's an eye opener. And that taught me something, to stop putting all my eggs in one basket. Stop expecting something perfect from an imperfect individual, from a human being. The only one that can do everything perfectly is God. The only, the only. Okay. And I had to stop expecting perfection. I had to stop expecting me. And that's something that we have to learn. It's a life lesson. We have to learn to not expect us from another person. Another person isn't going to think like us, love like us, support like us, care like us. But one thing that we can expect is we can expect for people to be nice. We can expect for people to communicate. We can expect for people to be loyal. And if they can't do that for us, it's time for us to go. Okay? Yes, people will do what we allow them to do. Exactly, Miss Jackie. Yes, we are all imperfectly perfect. We're all a work in progress, or we should be. Some people are imperfectly perfect, but they're not willing to put any work. They're happy with the stagnation. They're happy with, just the average. And you may be trying to work on yourself and heal and try new things, and you can see the road ahead is bright, but they don't want to make any changes. They don't want to do better. And that's when you have to make a decision to cut ties, cut the rope. Okay, cut the umbilical cord to certain individuals that you're feeding and nourishing them, but you're not getting any nourishment. got to save yourself first. You have to put on your own oxygen mask first. You have to love yourself first and not expect the opposite, right? So I just wanted to pour into everybody, feed your spirit, feed your mindset, and to encourage you because that's what we do over here on Marlene Motivates. I always want to be a source of positivity and encouragement and inspiration because I know of a time where I was so down, I was so discouraged, I was in a very dark space and I didn't hear messages like this on social media. So I wanted to be a source of that and let you all know that when your back is against the wall, when you feel like giving up, when you feel discouraged, when you feel that there is no hope, I want you to know that there is hope. There is something for you to do. There is something for you to be. There's a new chapter. It's time to turn the leaf. So when life shows you like it's time for a reset, maybe you're going to have to start over. It's a new chapter in your life. Embrace that. Love that. Don't run from that, when it's time for you to have a reset and a restart, maybe, getting older, maybe being an empty nester, maybe a new relationship status, maybe closing doors of friendships or going from an employee to a CEO. Well, in those shifts and changes in our life, we have to learn that I'm going to be patient with myself. I'm going to learn myself and embrace it as something exciting, not something scary. Embrace it. Embrace the change. Embrace the learning. Embrace the knowledge and being you. You are enough. You are worthy. You are capable. You can get through this. Okay? You can get through this, whatever it is, financial difficulty, stress, feelings of worthlessness, doubting yourself, mistreatment from other people, lack of support. I want you all to know that in everything, God is there. And in everything, He is capable. So don't think that you can do it on your own. Make sure you're leaning on your spiritual support. Make sure that you're pouring into yourself. You're reading positive messages. You're empowering yourself with positive music. It's what you pour into yourself that will pour out. Because if you're not pouring in positive, encouraging, enlightenment things, or if you have people around you that are toxic and using and controlling and manipulative and always complaining, that is what you are going to feel. So it's time that we do a mindset shift and also paying attention to who we have in our life so that we can keep that same mode, that same frequency of positivity. We can't be positive around negativity. We have to eliminate the negativity and do the best that we can. That's all we can ask. Do the best that you can, Motivators family. I'm so proud of every single one of you for having the courage to get up and fight day after day with life's challenges, with your difficulties. And I want you to tell yourself that. I'm proud of me for being encouraging. I'm proud of me for continuing on when I feel like giving up or when I feel sad or when I hit a roadblock. Don't give up, reset, recharge, fortify your mind and your heart and your spirit, and then continue on another day. Don't give up. Be encouraged, be inspired, and be yourself. Okay. Miss Jackie says we have to constantly encourage ourselves. Yes, we do. Constantly. We're all a work in progress. Self love is very important. Yes. So shout out to all of my mods. Make sure you check out my mods channels, okay? Boss Life Online, Realist One here, the Garden of Inspiration, Geeky Girls Journal, Nate the Great podcast. Trying to think of my mods channel, and also Miss Jackie. She is an author. Make sure you check out her website and pick up a copy of her book because it is awesome. So shout out to everybody who is here, to all my motivators family, old and new. Be motivated, be inspired, be encouraged, and be yourself. You are enough, okay? And until the next time we talk, keep your head up and encourage yourself. You are enough. You are enough. I am Marlene Motivates, and I am your life coach for motivation, positivity, and mindset shifting. Be your best and do your best because you are enough. See you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you back either Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure, but keep your notification bell on and make sure you subscribe and hit the like. And those who are watching in the replay, shout out to my replay gang. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for your support. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Bye, everybody.